Hey guys, before this video starts, I just wanted to remind you that I recently launched these reading logs on inkoutsidethebox.co.uk. I designed these myself, and it's the perfect little journal to keep track of all of the books that you read over the course of the year. As you can see, you can write in the title and the author of the book, when you started it, when you finished it, the number of pages, the genres, the moods, your rating out of 5 stars, and then I've also given you some prompts to write a thoughtful, meaningful review, which you could then type up onto a website like the Storygraph or Goodreads. There's also some reading recommendations from me, a place to write in your yearly reading goals and keep track of your habit of reading, so you make sure you read every day, as well as this page at the back to write down your yearly reading stats. I'm so excited to get started using this next year, and I'll be using this alongside book social media. So limited stock is available at inkoutsidethebox.co.uk. Grab yourself one of these for your 2022 reading. There's also a bunch of other stationery, including this daily planner where you can plan out all your times, all your to-do lists. Go check it out, inkoutsidethebox.co.uk, and enjoy the video. Hello there, welcome back to my second channel. Welcome to Jack in the Books. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Today I thought we would do something exciting and thrilling and very fun, and that is look at my reading stats for 2021. So in June, I joined the Storygraph, which is a Goodreads alternative. It's a book social media, and it's definitely been created with book lovers at the kind of forefront of its mind. So that's really exciting to me, and one of the great features about this is that it has a stats feature, so you can see your reading habits. Now, the last time I checked this was in June when I first started my account, and I have deliberately refrained from looking so that I could do a big reaction video at the end of the year. So, welcome! Jazz hands. Okay, let's go. So, I'm going to screen record my screen so you can see what I can see. I don't know if this is exciting to anyone other than myself, but I am jazzed. I'm so excited about this. So let's have a look. Firstly, we have my 2021 reading goal. Now, my goal was to read 125 books, and I managed to read 160. I am insane. I am unhinged. This is not a normal amount of books to read in a year. I feel like I need to point out that I literally read books for a living, and the more books that I read, the more YouTube videos I can make. And that means that I read obsessively, and also frantically. So I guess I just wanted to add a disclaimer that it's not about the number of books you read, it's about whether you read as much as you are hoping to. And so I have, and so I'm happy about that. But I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it's a really normal thing to read that many books in a year, because it isn't. Okay, the next thing we have is the mood of the books that I read. So I actually am a big loser and have guessed, I've predicted what I think the answer's gonna be. So I think that my top moods are going to be reflective, dark, challenging, emotional, and inspiring. I think those are the kinds of things that I pick up and read, especially reflective. I think reflective is gonna be my number one. And then the moods I think I will have read the least are adventurous, relaxing, and mysterious. So let's have a look. Big reveal. Okay, overwhelmed. That's my mood currently, overwhelmed. Okay, so yeah, number one is reflective, as I guessed. I just love a reflective read. And then emotional. So maybe I've been going through it. Then dark, okay. And then adventurous. Curveball, what the hell? That was unexpected. I predicted that to be one of my lowest. I think if we click it, we can see which books. It suggests Dune, okay, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Love in Colour, Song of Achilles, okay. Shakespeare the World as a Stage is a biography. I'm not sure that comes under adventurous. Some of these are a little bit questionable. Okay, I'm not sure about those categorizations. Then challenging, then lighthearted. Okay, something nice there. Okay, so let's see what moods I read the least. So we have relaxing down at the bottom, and hopeful. So relaxing and hopeful are my least favourite moods of book. What does that say about me as a person? I don't know. And that hasn't changed since June, so cheers to that. Maybe this is a cry for help. Maybe someone needs to stage an intervention here. I don't know. Let's move on before I get too scared by that. Okay, pace. I predicted that I would pick mostly medium-paced books, so let's have a look. Ooh, I was right. 71 books, 46% that were medium-paced. I think because I read a lot of literary fiction, that's why. My lowest was fast-paced. I think this is telling me I need to read more fast-paced books next year, because I think that would actually help me stay out of like reading slumps. And then slow-paced. I don't enjoy slow-paced books. Like, I do not like slow-paced books, and yet here they are. 39%. So what did I read that's slow-paced? Oh my god, Lonely Castle in the Mirror. Oh, the slowest. A poetry collection that's questionable, I think. They Both Die at the End, first person singular. Again, not really sure I would put a short story collection in slow-paced. Silas Marner, A Tale of Two Cities, The Other Black Girl. Oh, that puts the slow in slow-paced. Jeez. Lots of these books as well have really chaotic and intense endings, but you gotta work to get there, you know? Winter in Sokcho, A Movable Feast. When I read A Movable Feast, which is all about moving to Paris, little did I know that that would become my life. So that's cool. Let's see, what's next? Page number. Okay, I predicted that I would read mostly things that are below 300 pages because I always gravitate towards shorter books, especially because I make these videos, when I'm looking at reading lists, I always try to make sure there's a fair few short ones so that I can, get through as many books as I can within a week, and therefore make the content more interesting. So, oh wow, 61% below 300 pages, yep. And only 6% are above 500 pages. I definitely could have predicted exactly this because when I see a book that's like the size of my head, I don't want to read it. I think it's such a risk because I am very bad at not finishing books. Like even if I'm hating something, I will try and get to the end, usually because I can either make content about it or because I want to understand why I didn't enjoy it, and I feel like I need to have read the whole thing before I can have an opinion. I don't necessarily think that's what everyone should do, but because I make YouTube content about the books that I'm talking about, that's why I feel like I need to make sure I've at least finished the book before I assert some sort of opinion on it. So for me, it's a big investment of my time and energy to pick up like a 500, 600, 700 page book, but a few of the ones that I have read have been great, like A Little Life. So maybe I should read some more big books. Maybe I should get over my big book fear, because the big book fear is real. I'm intimidated by those books. Next we have fiction versus non-fiction. Now I predicted that I would have read 80% fiction, 20% non-fiction. So let's see. Ooh, it's close. Okay, yeah. I don't often gravitate towards non-fiction books, although I've enjoyed so many great memoirs. So perhaps in 2022, I should make it my mission to read more non-fiction. Because I'm probably missing out. I'm probably missing out on a lot of education that I could be reading. So, yeah, I think I might make that one of my goals for 2022 is to level this out a bit more, What does this say about me? I'm a whore for good fiction and a fucking idiot. I think that's what it says. Okay, next we have genres. Now, I predicted that my top genres would be literary fiction, classics, historical fiction, and self-help, because through my videos, we've encountered a lot of self-help. So let's have a look. Da-da-da. Okay, I was right about literary, and classics, and historical. Oh, he's too good, he's too good! I mean, I literally read the books. I know what I read, so it's not that impressive to have predicted what I have just spent a whole year reading. So we have 40 books that come under the bracket of literary fiction, we have 31 that come under contemporary, 24 classics, and 23 historical. LGBTQIA+ is high up there as well, which is cool. I'm chuffed with how many I read this year. Short story collections, also quite high up. I rarely pick up a short story collection for myself, but a lot of my celebrity book clubs have included short story collections, so that's definitely why. Poetry, romance is a lot higher than I expected, as is fantasy. And then the genres that I thought would be at the bottom are thriller, children's, sports, fantasy, and crime. So let's have a look. Obviously fantasy is actually a bit higher than I expected. Comics is my lowest. True, didn't think of that. Clearly it's so off my radar I didn't even clock it. Okay, maybe I should read more next year. Politics is surprising because a lot of the books that I read are about politics, but I suppose a lot of literary fiction and contemporary and historical novels kind of have politics as a secondary focus. So I guess the fact that books on here can't be categorized as more than one genre is probably why. Same with the fact that race is here, because loads of the books that I read this year were about race. Even like this month I've read a bunch of books that were about race, but they've obviously come under other categories, so So I wonder really if you can class race or politics as genres, because they kind of always are features of other more umbrella genres. Or maybe the Storygraph needs to introduce a feature where books can be categorized as more than one genre. I don't know, but I don't necessarily think that is representative of what I actually read. Middle grade, however, being at the bottom, makes perfect sense to me. Crime is also down there. Erotica. What did I read that was erotica? Jane Eyre Laid Bare. Makes sense. The classic novel with an erotic twist. What an adventure that was, truly. One art book, not sure what that would be. The Marvels. Okay. What was the sports book? What I talk about when I talk about running. You see, when you click on them, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Next category is authors. Now, I think that Taylor Jenkins Reid is going to be my top author of the year because I've read loads of her books and she laces the pages of her books with crack. I swear. They're so addictive, you cannot put them down, and so I think that she is going to top my list. I can't think of that many other authors who I've read more than one book from this year. Maybe F. Scott Fitzgerald, I read a few for reading challenges. Hemingway, I read a lot of Hemingway last year, not this year. Sally Rooney, I don't think will be in there. Oh, Murakami, shit. Oh, Haruki Murakami might be. Yeah, he might be in that list. Did I read his books last year or this year? Time flies when you're having fun, hey? Time does not fly when you just continue trying to work this out on your own without looking at the list, which is here. Okay, Neil Gaiman, Sally Rooney. Oh my god, my laptop's gonna die, my laptop's gonna die! Shit! Need an adapter! Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no! Save the video, quick! That was tense for a second there. Okay, we're back. Anyway, Haruki Murakami is my most read author of the year, followed by Taylor Jenkins Reid and F. Scott Fitzgerald. Who is surprised? Absolutely no one. So there you go. However, all of these authors here, like Joan Didion, Stephen King, Jane Austen, Sally Rooney, I only read 2 of their books, so it's rare that I read a lot from the same author. Which is interesting because I really enjoyed diving into the literary worlds of Taylor Jenkins Reid and Murakami this year. So maybe next year I need to focus more on specific authors. Maybe I'll do some videos where I just read one author's works. You know who's definitely going to be on this list next year? Colleen Hoover, because I haven't read any of her books yet, but I've got a bunch of videos that her books are going to feature in next year. I've kind of been saving these video concepts, and Colleen Hoover just happens to be in a lot of the reading lists that I've made for them, so I think she will be my #1 next year. I mean, Murakami might not be because I'm running out of his books to read. Okay, the next thing is the number of books and the number of pages that I read. Now, I really like this feature. I like that the Storygraph break it down into books and pages because it's not the same thing, you know? I sometimes will read a lot of books, but they're all very, very short. Like you can see the disparity here in December, how I read less books than in November and October, but way more pages. So I like that we can track how much we're reading in both ways. And some of you may have read way less books than I've read, but way more pages. And so I think it's nice that it highlights this, because Goodreads isn't so good for that. In August, 4,814 pages. In March, 5,460 pages. Jeez! March is basically where I realised that this channel was becoming a booktube channel, and I had this sudden surge of motivation to just read and read and read, which was really fun. And then you can see how in July, that motivation wore off. It's so funny how you can literally see how over the year, my motivation just decreases and decreases. And then in August, I was sitting in the sun, I went on holiday, and I think that's when I do a lot of reading. But yeah, there you go. And now we have my star ratings. So out of my 151 reviews, my average rating is 3.45. Ooh! Maybe I'm a bitch. Maybe I need to be nicer. What's interesting is that I give more 2-star reviews than 5-star reviews. That just shows the kind of books I've been subjected to this year with my celebrity reading club. Jeez. I'm most likely to give a 4-star review, followed by a 3-star review. Now, this will be more interesting next year, actually, because I only joined the Storygraph halfway through the year. All of my ratings had been Goodreads ratings, which are integers, so you can only have 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star. Whereas on the Storygraph, you can rate things 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, so you can have a lot more variation within the way that you review. Now, because I'd already done 6 months of normal Goodreads reviews, I just continued doing only integers, only whole numbers for the rest of the year. But as of January, I'm going to start reviewing books with a point something system as well, because there's such a huge difference between 3 stars and 3.75 stars for me. And the same with like, there's a massive difference between 4 stars and 4.5 stars. If it makes sense to you, it makes sense to you, but that's how I see it. Also, it's very, very rare that I would give a book 1 star. Should we have a look at which books I've given 1 star? Straight James, Gay James, Jane Eyre Laid Bare, Many Lives, Many Masters, Only Love Is Real, and Rebels, City of Indra. There's a big theme here with the last 3 books, and that is Kylie Jenner, her book and her reading recommendations. Nothing irks me more, apparently. Because a book has to be terrible to get a 1-star review from me, like terrible. For me, my rating system is like, 1 star means this is not worth the paper it's printed on, like no one should read this. 2 stars is like, I would highly recommend that you don't bother with this, and I really didn't like it. 1 star is like, this should never have been printed, you know? So yeah, those are my reading stats for the year. I hope that you enjoyed this chill, chatty little video. I would love to know what your reading stats were. Let me know down below in the comment section. My username on the story graph is Jack Edwards. My username on Goodreads is just Jack Edwards, I think. I'll link them both down below. Thank you very much for watching this video. I think this will be my last of 2021. So thanks so much for being here this year. It's been absolutely mental. I love you to the moon and back, and Happy New Year. See you next time. Bye!